Last week, government ministers reportedly began ramping up proposals to increase NICs by 1% for both employers and employees to fund the social care reforms, a sector Boris Johnson pledged to address shortly after becoming Prime Minister in 2019. But the Prime Minister is already facing a cabinet revolt over his plan, as it would be a breach of the Conservative Party manifesto from the 2019 general election. Chancellor Rishi Sunak also fears working families could be hurt further if taxes are hiked during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. There are growing concerns hiking NICs could be regarded as many Britons as a tax on younger workers, who have been hit particularly hard during the pandemic. A number of ministers have warned the increase is fraught with risk, as it could be regarded by many as a tax on jobs, and would hit younger taxpayers priced out of the competitive housing market. Professor Len Shackleton, editorial and research fellow, Institute of Economic Affairs (IEA) think tank, warned raising NICs could prove dangerous with the jobs market and economy already under pressure as the country exits the pandemic. He warned it would be wrong to place the burden of this tax solely on the shoulders of younger workers, without extending need to post-state pension age taxpayers to help pay. The expert told Express.co.uk, raising national insurance contributions would be a burden on working-age people at a time when jobs are insecure, inflation is rising and wages are squeezed. The government knows many of the public believe that national insurance pays for the NHS, and social care would just be a natural addition. But NI is not ring-fenced to the NHS or anything else, and is simply an income tax by another name, albeit with different exemptions, starting points and arbitrary changes in rates which don't coincide with tax bands. It would be wrong to place the burden of this tax solely on the shoulders of younger workers, without extending need to post-state pension age taxpayers to help pay. Any rise in employer, as well as employee contributions, may give the illusion that businesses will help pay, but economists agree that workers ultimately pay for employer NI through lower pay down the line. Employers can only pay workers what their work contributes to the business. If the state takes a larger chunk, there is less available for wages. Merging all NI into income tax would make this explicit. Professor Shackleton also warned the tax hike could cost an eye-watering £10 billion, while taxing employment could lead to increased job loss fears. He added, as for the cost of the floated proposal, an increase of 1% in employee NICs would mean that someone on £30,000 a year would face around an extra £200 a year deducted from pay. An increase of 1% on both employer and employee NICs together would raise around £10 billion a year, I believe. This is not my calculation but has been widely quoted. However, taxing employment, which is what NICs do, may reduce the number of jobs or hours worked. This is a worry at a time when the economy is still in the recovery ward. John O'Connell, chief executive of the Taxpayers Alliance, warned raising NICs to pay for the much-needed social car reform would be an assault on taxpayers' pockets. He told Express.co.uk, funding social care requires a more sustainable solution than simply whacking up taxes on working people and businesses. Those on the lowest incomes are already paying a disproportionate amount in tax. A hike in NI is the last thing they need. What's more, when politicians earmark tax proceeds for specific items of spending, it is usually smoke and mirrors. National insurance itself is little more than just another income tax, with receipts used for day-to-day spending and quite often wasted. The government should rethink this assault on taxpayers' pockets and look for a long-term funding model coupled with eradicating wasteful spending in the public sector.